Robert Valor, a longtime resident, will tell us how the barter system worked in Pultneyville.
Every farm had a dried house, and they would take and dry their apples and bring them in to my Uncle Sam's warehouse, and he would pack them and ship them to foreign countries, Germany, England, France, and then at the end of the season, they would come in and figure up as to how many dollars they owed for their groceries for the summertime and how much he owed them for the butter and eggs and the dried apples, and then they would settle up.
Lucille Lockley, a Pultneyville native, was a teacher in the local school and a successful real estate agent. She is also a loyal Republican.
Now, can you remember, like, when Kennedy was shot? Can you remember that? Yeah, can you remember anything outstanding about that? What happened at that time?
No, I don't know what I am thinking of. No, I can't remember where I was. But I can remember when, listen, I can remember when, not Kennedy, I remember when Prince Edward abdicated.
Oh, yes, that was back in the 30s.
That was
37.
Oh, that was I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm not a Democrat. I can't remember.
You think that has something to do with it?
I think that has something to do with it.
Now, you can take that two ways. That you aren't interested in what the Democrats did, or that Republicans don't have as good a memory as the Democrats now.
Well, I don't want to inflict that on the Republicans. Oh. They have trouble enough.
Yeah. Pearl, pass the molasses cookies.
I think probably the one I make most often would be molasses cookies, because I can do those without a recipe, and I can do a big batch or a small batch in a hurry, and always seem to have requests for them.
David Cooper, who lives in the old Pultneyville school, will introduce us to a real colorful Pultneyville figure, a character that could have stepped out of one of his Gates Hall productions.
The guy next door, his name was Tex Crandle, and I thought he was the greatest person on the face of the earth. He would do anything for anybody. But he helped us move in here. I didn't even know who he was. Let's see, Gracie was, I don't know where she was, but we brought the truckload of stuff down here. And Steve and I, Steve was in the service. Pappy and I were trying to move stuff in, and Pappy wasn't in very good shape. And this guy comes over and says, "I'll help you." And he moved stuff in here. He told us where this would look nice and where this would look nice. And finally, I said, who are you anyway? He said, "I'm Tex Crandle, your next door neighbor." Well, we got to be real good friends. And he used to come here almost every day. He'd bring vegetables to Gracie. And he'd say, "Now, Mrs. Cooper, you must take these vegetables, for if you don't, I'm going to give them to the pigs." And she'd say, "Well, we wouldn't want that to happen." Would we, Tex? And he'd say, "No, ma'am, we wouldn't want that to happen." But he was really, I used to go over there, and, well, he drank a lot, but that was okay. I used to go, I like to sit and just talk to him. For he worked, almost every sentence he says started with for. For he worked for Fred Cornwall, and he was the custodian of the building. And when we first started using the Gates Hall, in order to turn on the water, you had to dig up a hole in the front yard and find the shut-off valve and turn that on. That was Tex's job. It was also his job to put up the flag every day, and he always liked to make sure that somebody was. I would stand out there in the park and applaud him and salute. He thought that was great. Tex Crandle, one of my favorite people.
This is one of our local artists, Judy Bergdorf, painting in one of her favorite spots. A great deal of time and effort has gone into this production. It has been done not only for your enjoyment, but to give the viewer a sense of the rich heritage. While the production may seem provincial, I am sure it is typical of any small hamlet USA if we only stop, investigate, listen, and look. Thank you for joining us.